Thank you, Chairman and members of the committee. I am an attorney in private practice in Sacramento. My first election as an attorney for a campaign was March 2004, and it took 2 weeks after that election for the nominee to be known. For well over 20 years, California's canvass has been slow. But now there are more close contests that take 3 to 4 weeks after the election to determine the winner. California's election laws impose numerous procedures that extend ballot processing and counting far beyond election night. Election administrators must contend with constantly changing rules and manage a larger volume of complicated mail-in provisional ballots in a 1-month period following each election. The original culprit behind California's lengthy canvass is no excuse access to mail ballots. In 1978, California became the first state to allow voters to apply to vote by mail on an election-by-election basis without a reason. Since the 2020 general election, every active voter receives a ballot in the mail without applying. In the most recent general election, nearly 81% of California's 22.5 million registered voters cast a mail ballot. Hand-delivered and drop-box ballots must be received by the close of polls on election day, but mailed ballots are valid if they are received by an election official by the 7th day after the election. About half of mail ballots cast are dropped off by voters on election day and are not processed until days or weeks after election night. When a mail ballot is received by an election office, the laborious signature comparison process begins. Some counties in California use technology to conduct the first signature comparison, while others solely rely on election workers. Before a signature on an envelope is deemed not to compare to the voter's signature on file, 3 levels of review must find beyond a reasonable doubt that the signature on the mail ballot envelope possesses multiple, significant, and obvious differing characteristics when compared to all signatures in the voter's registration record. When a signature is challenged, the voter has an opportunity to provide a substitute signature. If a voter returns their mail ballot envelope without a signature, that voter also has an opportunity to provide a signature. In both cases, this process is known as signature curing. Depending on the county, a voter may submit a substitute signature as late as 28 days after Election Day. Many signature cures are returned as a result of the harvesting efforts of campaigns in close contests. Usually, county elections officials are permitted to certify their election results as soon as they have completed all of the required tasks. But a law temporarily in effect for the 2024 general election prohibited counties from certifying earlier than the 28th day after the election. The response of many county elections officials was to suspend canvass activities outside of normal working hours to avoid paying overtime to their canvass workers, thus further delaying the reporting of results for the November 2024 general election. In addition to the nearly 60-day mail voting process that we have in California, California's same-day voter registration significantly contributes to the delay in finalizing election results. This is known as conditional voter registration, and California permits individuals who are not registered to vote by the 15th day before an election to complete a registration affidavit and cast a ballot. Conditional registrations are a type of provisional ballot, which take the most time and the most labor to process. It is the cumulative effect of all of these procedures and deadlines that cause the delay in finalizing California's election results. Of the weeks it takes to know the outcome of close contests, California's Secretary of State, Dr. Shirley Weber, said Californians should be patient. But not all of California's policymakers agree that we should just accept this. There are several proposals currently pending in the California legislature to address the lengthy canvass. One bill would require all counties to offer in-person voting on the Saturday prior to Election Day. But given that 78% of voters already have this option, and still over 80% of California's voters returned a mail ballot in the most recent election using an envelope, this is not likely to ease the post-election crunch. Several members of the California legislature have introduced bills this session to simply mandate speeding things up. But these proposals would impose an arbitrary deadline by which certain ballots must be counted or that the canvass must be completed without addressing the root causes of the current lengthy process and without equipping elections officials with the means to process ballot envelopes faster. The solutions must focus on mail ballot and same-day voter registration procedures and deadlines. Otherwise, California will continue to be last in the nation to finalize its election results. That concludes my comments.